I dig in the dirt, shovel, I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
G'day and welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochran. We have got a sensational program packed full of great local gardening advice for you today. Now you might be looking around and saying, this doesn't look like Australia. It's not. We're in the Black Forest in Germany. We'll give you some glimpses of this garden a bit later on. Now, as I said, today's show is packed full of great local gardening advice chopped from all over the country. We can't wait to show you. So let's get on with the show.
Digging around.
Pipers Creek Grove is an Australian certified organic bush food plantation in the mid-north coast of New South Wales. The family business, run by Jules de Boer, has been operating and producing its Dondingalong organic bush foods for nearly 15 years. Jules, what got you into growing Australian bush foods?
My father did actually. He purchased all these plants and put them in about 14 years ago, and him and my little brother. And ever since then, I've been involved in bush foods and been loving it.
So what are you growing?
Well, we're growing blood limes, as you can see here. They're a cross between a finger lime and a mandarin, and they're lovely in beers and cocktails and with seafood.
You're speaking my language. What else are you growing?
We're growing Davidson plums.
Wow, let's have a look.
Excellent, let's go down.
Jules, these Davidson plum trees are amazing.
Aren't they wonderful? They're very tart, they're very high in vitamin C and antioxidants, so they're really good for you. Because they're so tart, it's best if you make them into jam. So
Can you get the knife out of your back pocket and let's have a look at this?
I will do. Like this, twist it around. As you can see, there's 2 seeds in there. So we just pop them out one by one. And there you have it, ready to go.
Not everyone can grow a Davidson plum or blood lime or make preserves from the fruit, but you can buy this produce direct. Head to your online farmers market, Farmhouse Direct, place an order, support a local farmer and put a very special Aussie flavour on your menu.
What I'm about to tell you could change your life. Have you ever wanted to clean the pool while you slept? Or even better, while you watch the footy? Well, say hello to my little friend. Robotic cleaners are the way of the future and can make the task of staying on top of your pool cleaning much easier. This is how simple it is. Now, it's a little bit odd because you're mixing electricity with water, but you plug it into the power point and you pop it into the pool and it's completely safe. Do it when the pool's not in use, say on a Friday night when we're all inside watching the footy, and once it's done, pull it back out, empty these cartridges and pop it away for next time. Now, while your team was winning the match, this clever cleaner was mapping out the shape of your pool to ensure it cleaned every corner. It was using its fast-moving brushes to scrub the floor and the floats to get up and scrub the walls and tile line. The inbuilt filter was reducing the load on your filter too. So unlike a suction cleaner that has to be hooked up to the pool filter and pump and run at full bore, the robotic cleaner can reduce your energy cost by up to 90%. And it can cost you as little as $10 a year to run. So now you can kick back and watch the footy with the family on Friday nights knowing that the robotic cleaner is doing your job and that the kids can swim in a clean and healthy pool in the morning.
How is this for an absolute beauty? It's called Rondellecia amona. This has a beautiful fragrance. When this is in a mass of flower and they're all open, it is just going to smell sensational. It's a terrific backdrop to a garden, but it's also a wonderful informal hedge. Coming up after the break, more great gardening advice on the Garden Gurus.
If you'd like to get your hands on some of the great plants in the Touch of Class collection, check out the Touch of Class Facebook page. Enter their competition and you could be taking home a spring pack of 10 plants chosen for you by the experts.
Now, when you think of wattles, you usually think of pretty bright yellow flower balls, but this is one variety that you would grow for its foliage and form alone. It's called Acacia dazzla, and there is no doubt that a mass display of these little beauties would add a touch of magic to your garden. It grows in lovely, soft, compact mounds to about 80 centimetres tall and 1 metre wide. The foliage is so soft you just want to stroke it, and the green is really vibrant. Once it's off and running, it needs very little water. And what I love about this plant is that it provides a fresh lime green look in the garden all year round, even when the rest of the garden is looking a bit tired and dry. I'm a fan of using this plant en masse to create a carpet of green, but it also mixes well with other plants, native or exotic. You could even grow it as an informal hedge, and because it has a lovely soft mounded shape, it sits really well in a decorative pot as well. Now growing wise, it's really tough. You already know that it can cope with dry. It also copes with frost, and you can grow it down the coast. You just need to give it a full sun or partly shaded position, a good dose of slow release native food, and it will look this good year round.
Patches in lawns are frustrating and, quite frankly, unnecessary. Now, springtime is when you really start to notice them, and understanding why you're getting patches is as important as fixing them. Lawns that are shaded, have become compacted or experience regular soakings with animal urine can develop patches, where weed seeds can spread to and invade and take a hold of what was once a lovely lawn. Forking holes into the patches, removing any remaining weeds, applying gypsum to open the soil and making sure the soil is not dry are all processes important to assisting a lawn's recovery from this type of damage. Or you can scratch the poor quality soil away to a depth of 5 centimetres and remove the poor soil and any remnants of weeds. So there are no weeds, no poor quality soil left, and then you grab a bag of this. It's a brilliant new lawn builder product called Patch Magic. The seed varieties selected were chosen for their durability. They can handle sun and shady spots really well. And they can also handle heavy wear and tear. Now, they'll blend in to most popular turf grass varieties, and this means you don't have to worry about matching them. The seed is embedded in expanding mulch, which assists with the rapid and highly successful germination of the seed. The material is extremely absorbent and holds moisture for a long time, saving water as well as guaranteeing successful germination rates. You spread the mix across the patch so the bare soil is mostly covered, but it can still be seen in certain places. Then thoroughly water the area and the mulch will expand and cover the total area. The trick is not to over-apply it. You don't need to, because the expanding mulch expands and any excess is wasted. The mulch also has lawn builder fertiliser included, an essential ingredient that supports the new grass seedling's growth and sustains it until it's properly established. If you had any doubts about how successful Patch Magic could be in your garden, get a load of this. I applied it to a brick paver. I've watered it once a day for a week, and take a look what happened. It's germinated and it's taking off. I'd have a lawn growing on this in no time. This is truly brilliant stuff, and it's a great way to green up your whole lawn. Now, the best time to apply it, it's spring and early summer.
If you'd like to start growing some Aussie bush food, then start with something easy to grow, and that would have to be a lemon myrtle. It's a tree that can easily be shaped into a shrub, and the reason it's called lemon myrtle is crush a leaf, take a smell, you get a beautiful lemon scent. Now, you can pop a fresh leaf into some boiling water for a beautiful infused tea, or dry the leaf and use it in your cooking. More great garden advice coming up after the break.
Have you thought about making the switch to getting energy free from the sun? Well, compliments of Garden Gurus and Solar Heart, you could win one of 3 prize packs valued at up to $5,000. The prize includes your choice of a Solar Heart solar water heater or a Solar Heart power PV system, and the prize includes installation. All you have to do is head to our website and answer the question, what is Solar Heart's slogan? It's that easy, and before you know it, you could be enjoying energy free from the sun.
The warm weather is sending a message to all our plants to get growing, and right now most of them are powering away. However, there are a few slow ones in the garden and in pots that need a little coaxing. First, inspect the plant. Give the stem a scratch. If it's green, it's still alive. Take a good look for any obvious bugs and diseases. You might be tempted to reach for a systemic fungicide or insecticide at this stage, but if the plant hasn't too many leaves or it's looking a bit sick, it's unlikely to take up the spray and push it through the system. What the top of this plant needs is a good cutback. Grab the secateurs and trim back any dead or damaged growth first. Once that's been removed, shape the plant so it looks as balanced as possible. Well, that's the top taken care of. Now the roots. The roots are the powerhouse of the plant, so it's vital that they're kept healthy. And you can check the health of the roots in a potted plant by sliding it out. The roots on this plant look fine and evenly spread, not a hard, thick root-bound tangle. This will look forward to be planted into a larger pot. However, you can't do that forever. Eventually, you need to stop at a certain size container. As plants grow and potting mix ages, the media loses much of its zing, and it's vital that nutrients are added regularly. Ordinarily, a fertiliser delivers just the nutrients. However, a new generation fertiliser from an Aussie company, Langley Fertilisers, is changing the way we feed plants. Troforte M Rejuvenator is packed with up to 60 natural minerals and up to 24 beneficial soil microbes, including fungi, to help break down the natural minerals and attach them to plant roots. It revives even the most tired potting mix, and one application lasts 3 to 4 months. And Troforte M Rejuvenator is not just for potted plants, it's for the rest of the garden too, bringing a healthy natural microbe population back to your soil. Healthy plants start with healthy soils and potting mixes, and the Troforte range of fertilisers are brilliant at recharging your microbe populations and bringing soil back to life, even the poorest ones. Check out their website for your nearest stockist. They're well worth tracking down.
This has to be one of the best ways to screen a wall. It's called Green Wall, and it's a brilliant new product for home gardeners who love the idea of growing flowers, veggies or herbs in a way that maximises space and beautifies a wall or fence. Introducing it here on the Garden Gurus has created a storm of interest, and the exclusive retailer Bunnings Warehouse has been inundated with interest from the public. It works like this. It's a kit system that's fixed to a bracket that is fixed to a wall or fence. The units have 8 pots each, and the pots can be removed individually and replanted if needed. Each pot has a dedicated pressure-regulated dripper, and the system is watered by simply clicking a hose or polytube fitting onto it. You can then automatically water. One trick to success that I'll share with you gets down to the type of potting mix you use. Now, this stuff here is cocoa peat. It's absolutely brilliant, it's highly absorbent, and it's perfect for this type of mixture. The only thing is, it's inert, it's got no life in it, so you've got to put some Troforte in. I recommend probably 60 to 100 grams per 10 litres. That's more than enough to really get this growing. You simply plant your plants into this, and they'll take off because it holds moisture around the roots longer. If you're doing it indoors, use indoor plants. Flamingo flowers are a great option, for instance. There are a lot of indoor colour options like spathiphyllums, which are great for darker places, or these beautiful begonias. They're not the flowering sort, but instead a gorgeous foliage variety. Begonia Rex is brilliant in a brightly lit place indoors, and as part of a green wall, they look amazing. The process is made easier by the fact that the units clip into each other. So setting the right distance between units when putting the brackets on the wall is very important. It's such a simple system. Once the frames are up, you simply pot the pots up and they clip on individually to the frame itself. You put the little drippers in the top, that ensures that they get watered. Now, I've used some beautiful flowering indoor plants and a couple of foliage ones there in those magnificent Begonia Rex. You can use all sorts of plants indoors or outdoors, and they look sensational. Here's a handy tip. A lot of people go raking up the flowers that have fallen off camellias or leaves that have fallen on the ground underneath trees and shrubs and go and put them in the compost bin. Well, why do that? Why not just go and get some blood and bone, throw it in over the top and let them break down naturally in the soil? This enriches the soil and improves the microbes and gets you great growth results. Coming up after the break, more great gardening advice on the Garden Gurus.
How good would it be to have a consistently healthy pool? Imagine having an energy-efficient pump, a robotic cleaner, a brand new sand filter and a professional to install it all. And while we're dreaming, imagine having a year's worth of maintenance from Poolworks. Joe. Well, it doesn't have to be a dream at all. All this could be yours by simply going to the Garden Gurus website and telling us in 25 words or less what makes you a healthy pool person. Then this healthy pool prize pack worth $6,000 could be yours thanks to our friends at Poolworks.
I love my decking. I think it's absolutely fantastic to use in a garden, and there's been a massive trend towards decking in the last few years. The downside, however, after a few years, you start to discover a few things that are not too good, and one of them that people really dislike is the fact that decking, all timber, requires maintenance. You can't get away from it. It does. It needs to be oiled, sanded, sometimes it needs to be repainted, but it does have to be cared for. Now, the good news is, like all good trends, something new has come out that's going to make it so much easier. This is a new material that looks like timber, is used like timber, but it's made from something that was being thrown into landfill previously. It's called Ecodeck, and it uses recycled plastic milk bottles and bamboo, one of the strongest building materials on the planet, to make a decking material that solves the problems we've seen before with timber. For a start, it's waterproof. Now, the other thing I love about this is that you have no maintenance at all with it. You don't need to oil it, you don't need to paint it, you don't need to sand it down and prepare it in the future. It stays the same, and it doesn't lose its colour. It's UV protected. Now, there's one other great benefit of this, and it is because it's not timber, it's not going to splinter. That means your guests can dance barefooted on the deck, and there's no risk of them getting splinters. That's a level of safety that you can't normally get with timber. The big question you're probably asking is, but what about installation? There's got to be a catch, right? It has to be harder or require more effort to install. Well, the truth is, it's probably easier to install than traditional timber in many ways, but the tools that you use remain the same. A drill, tech screws, and then you pre-drill and sink your screws in. It's that easy. You do have to gap it, as you would with normal timber, because it's going to expand and contract in warmer and colder weather. Now, the great thing about this material is you've got 4 different colours you can choose from at the moment. Silver ash, absolutely beautiful. You've got red rock, which is a nice red colour, and then you've got this wonderful dark brown. And of course, this one here, now this is mountain oak. It's an absolute ripper. And one of the great tests of any material to work with is to ask an expert, a tradie. And Rowan, what do you reckon, mate? This stuff's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the first time I've worked with Ecodeck before, and it's got a lot of advantages compared to timber because we've got, like, every length is straight and you don't have the defects that you do working with timber, and so, no, it's good stuff.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Ecodeck is a sensational new form of decking material that solves all the problems decking has presented people with in the past. It costs a little bit more up front, but the savings in annually oiling, cleaning and coating a deck are enormous, not to mention the time you save. Now, if you want the best tasting food, that's food that people absolutely love and talk about after they've been to your place for dinner, then you need to introduce the best flavours. And there's no better way to do it than to be picking fresh herbs and popping them straight into the dishes. Now, growing herbs at home is a simple thing to do, but bringing them indoors, well, that's an art form. So where do you start? Using an oblong self-watering pot from the Decor Australia Classic Self-Watering Pot range, it looks classy, and because you get 3 great colours to choose from, like latte, pewter and terracotta, you can colour match against your kitchen's decor. The self-watering technology Decor employs with these pots is your guarantee of success. Add a water-holding potting mix, like this cocoa peat potting mix, and some controlled release plant food with microbes in it. It's really important with cocoa peat potting mixes because they're inert, lacking microbial life in the soil. And this fertiliser will really kick it off to a good start. And then, well, it's as simple as planting up. It's that easy. Now, the herbs you choose, well, really, that's your own choice. It gets down to your culinary preferences. Now, you can't go past the range that comes from the Renaissance collection. These guys grow the best quality. You can see they don't cost more, but you really get the best start. And the next bit's going to really surprise you. You need to pack the pot full of herbs. Don't be scared to use them side by side. They'll grow up against each other competing, and this means you can harvest more regularly. You have to feed them, and I'm not sure if you realised it yet, but the people at Seasol have developed a few new formulations of their plant food power feed, including one for veggies, which, if used weekly, will deliver amazing results as far as foliage production goes. So here's the real trick. What you do, when you plant up 3 of these. This can be week 1, this week 2, and this week 3, and by the time you get to week 3 being finished, week 1 has grown a whole bunch of new foliage and can go back into the kitchen. It's that easy. Yes, you do need to grow the faster growing varieties, but everything from chili, thyme, oregano, basil, rosemary, sage and mint will work super well if used in this format. And honestly, Packaged up in the Decor Sorrento pots, they look fantastic indoors as well. Your friends will think your cooking skills are world class. These would have to be one of the most beautiful flowers you can grow in a garden, and they're coming back into popularity in a big way. Now, it's a summer and autumn flowering plant, and look at the size of some of these flowers. These are dahlias, and they are just sensational to grow at home in a nice sunny position. These are actually growing in the middle of summer here up in the Black Forest in Germany. Now, the good news is, usually when a gardening show shows you how to grow them, well, they'll say, look, now's the time to get the flowers, but unfortunately not the time to plant the corms. Well, in this case, you actually put these tubers into the ground and they're going to take off, and as summer comes on, start to grow really strongly. They'll then come into flower and flower right through autumn. That's what makes dahlias such a fantastic plant to grow in an Aussie garden. In the European summer, you can see these dahlias in full bloom here in the Black Forest. And the best way to get here is on a Scenic Tours 15-day romantic Rhine and Moselle River cruise from Basel to Amsterdam. You'll visit up to 6 countries, including Switzerland, France, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Belgium, as well as Germany. Cruising on board a scenic spaceship, you'll enjoy all-inclusive luxury with complimentary beverages all day, every day, a private butler service, all meals with a choice of dining from full breakfasts, buffet and daily a la carte lunches, casual fare at the River Cafe and Portobello's fine Italian dining. All onshore excursions and activities are included, and guests will enjoy scenic free choice activities, where guests get to choose what activities they want to do at the pace they want to go, from relaxed to active, and enjoy exclusive scenic and rich highlights, including a private dinner and concert in the Grand Hall of Rustak Palace. Well, that's it for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I must be the first gardening presenter to ever close a program from a hemp crop, but this has to be one of the most valuable crops around. You can make clothing, rope, and just recently, stems are being converted into a material that makes a brilliant garden mulch, and also it's highly absorbent, brilliant for pet litter. You'll find out more about this sort of stuff on our website. Now, we are back next week. It just gets better. Of course, we won't be bringing the program to you from the Black Forest like we have here, but you will get a chance to see this a bit later on in the year when we release the next series of Explore and we take a beautiful journey through Europe. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We'll look forward to seeing you again real soon for the Garden Gurus.